This is a demo video for the first library that we have published as a part of MentorSpock. The library's name is Mockless and it helps you mock HTTP API responses inside your Angular codebase. Now this thing happens while your Angular app is running. Okay, it does this by replacing your standard HTTP handler with our mock HTTP handler. Okay, and it gives you a panel by which you can enable the mocking system or disable the mocking system. When the mocking system is disabled, it makes an HTTP call all the way back to your backend servers. Okay, if the mocking system is enabled and you have mocked a specific API, then the response of the API is sent back directly from within the Angular app itself. It does not go to the server. I'll show you the demo of that right now. Okay, as a part of the Git code base, we have included a demo, and you can actually run this demo yourself if you want. Okay, and then you can open the API maker and the panel. Fine, I have Mockless enabled by default. Should have changed it. Okay, so we have the API tester here and we have the Mockless panel, and you can add this Mockless panel to your app, and the component is available inside the library itself. Even this API maker is available inside the library. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to disable Mockless first, show you that when you make the API calls, they are going all the way to the required backend. So we go to network. All right, let's make this a little bit simpler to view, and yes. Okay, so I'm going to make a call over here. As you can see, it goes to the backend and it shows you all of this. Now if I set user1, and this is fake JSON API.mock, so it just sends back whatever data is available. I'm going to get it for one single user for now. I'll move this around. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to enable Mockless. As a part of the Mockless panel, you actually get a history, so that once the Mockless is enabled, you can see what all API calls you do after it is enabled. Plus, it also has stored mockables, as in if you decide to mock a API call from the history, it will go into the stored mockable. So we do a send request. As you can see, it has shown up in the history. Now, every time I do a send request, it is going to give me a different response, and that's basically what fake JSON API.mock.bscepter does for us. Okay, if I reload it, the history is gone. So I'm going to make one single call here. It shows up in the history, and I save it. Okay, and it shows up over here. Now if I keep making the requests, it will always give me back the same response. I can always go and modify the mockable and save it, and then do a send request. You get the modified data. Now you can actually see this in action. So earlier I had made all those API calls for user 1, okay, and they showed up over here. But if I do a send request now, they're not going to show up here at all. The reason for this is that the HTTP interceptor knows that you're trying to make a GET request to this URL, and it knows that that URL has already been mocked, and it picks up the stored data from the local storage, which is available inside your application, and then sends that response back directly. Okay, so if I disable the mock, the stored mockables will go away immediately. The history remains the same. There are a minor set of bugs in the panel, which is not a big deal. Okay, and if I do a send request now, it will make an API call to the backend. We're trying to get in support for error responses along with standard responses, and our documentation is up to date, so that you can always go to npm.js package mentorspock/mockless, go through the documentation and install, and you start using the library.